Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Big Beefcake here, and I'd like to welcome you to a special birthday edition of Saturday Night Horror. Now tonight, we're going to be watching two movies from our favorite horror franchise of all time, Friday the 13th. And, I've been really looking forward to this one. And I've been looking forward to this all week. I wanted to do Friday the 13th right from the start, but, I want to do some different movies first, but Friday the 13th is definitely my favorite horror franchise of all time, and so tonight is really going to be fun. Our movies we're going to be watching tonight are Friday the 13th Part 7, which is a really fun movie for me. I like how these Friday the 13th movies take place at Camp Crystal Lake, in the woods, in the cabins, so I love it, man. Friday the 13th Part 7, the only goofy part about it is Jason is up against a girl with, I guess, telekinesis. She can move objects with her mind. I mean, it's kind of corny, but it's Friday the 13th. It's Jason freaking Voorhees. Who cares? It's fun nonetheless. We're going to enjoy watching it. Our second movie we're going to watch is, I know I've said it plenty of times. Excuse me. I know you guys are tired of hearing it, but I'm just going to say it one more time. This is my favorite horror movie of all time. This is actually the very first horror movie I ever watched, and this is the movie that made me a horror fan. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, some people love it, some people hate it. I enjoy it, man. I tend to agree with people that say the whole movie should have took place in Manhattan. Now, I agree with that, but nonetheless, it's still an awesome movie. It's fun, and like I said, this is my favorite. This is what got me into horror films, so this one always has a special place in my heart. I'm definitely looking forward to watching this tonight. Alright, so those are two movies we're going to be watching tonight. We're also going to be making something special. I'm going to be making my homemade, except for the crust, my homemade spinach and mushroom pizza. Now, some people might say, "Oh, it doesn't sound too good." Just wait. Just give it a chance. When you see the finished product, I guarantee you it'll look good, man. You might even make you want to go try it yourself. I'm also going to be making garlic parmesan breadsticks. I've never made those before. I found a recipe for them. I'm going to try it out. See how they turn out. I'm actually going to be cooking those today. I'm recording this once again on a Friday morning, the intro. And so I decided to go ahead and cook the breadsticks today on a Friday, so that way, Saturday night, cook the pizza, put the movies in, and we're good to go. Because these breadsticks are going to take a while, so we're going to cook those first. We're going to cook those today, and just heat them up tomorrow, man. It should be good. So anyway, thank you for joining me on this birthday edition of Saturday Night Horror. Now, hang on for just a second. We're going to go in the kitchen and we're going to make these garlic parmesan breadsticks. That sounds good, doesn't it? I'll see you in the kitchen, guys. Alright, everyone. We're going to make these garlic parmesan breadsticks. Now, the first thing we're going to do before we even make the breadsticks, we're going to make the garlic parmesan seasoning to put on top of the breadsticks. Now, these are all the ingredients I'll need for the seasoning. We got Parmesan cheese, garlic powder, basil, oregano, and parsley. So we're going to go ahead and mix these together and make this seasoning. And after that, we'll be ready to make these breadsticks. So let's get this seasoning started, guys. First thing we need is a half cup of Parmesan. So let's go ahead and get that in our little bowl here. Hopefully this bowl is big enough. It should be. We'll find out. Let's go ahead and get this half cup in here. Alright, we've got our half cup of Parmesan. I also forgot another ingredient. We're also using salt. So half cup of Parmesan. Put that in there. Oh yeah, that should be plenty big. Yeah, that should be big enough. Alright. Next thing we need is 1 teaspoon of salt. So, teaspoon. Alright, we've got our teaspoon of salt. We'll put that in there. Alright, next we need 2 tablespoons of garlic powder. Alright, here's our first tablespoon of garlic powder. And we'll add 1 more to it. Alright, here's our second tablespoon. Alright, so we've got Parmesan, salt, and garlic powder in there. Next thing we need is 2 teaspoons of oregano. So we'll go ahead and get that. Okay, I've already added 1 teaspoon of oregano, so here's our second teaspoon. Alright, next we need 2 teaspoons of basil. Okay, I've added 1 teaspoon already, so here's our second teaspoon. And the last thing we need is 2 teaspoons of parsley. Okay, once again, I've already added 1 teaspoon, so this is our second teaspoon. Alright, those are all the ingredients we need. Now we just gotta mix this up. Let me pause this, I'll be right back. It was kind of hard to do this with one hand. Alright, it's all mixed up. Now this is our garlic parmesan seasoning that we'll put on the breadsticks once they're done. You can definitely smell the garlic in this. It smells really strong. We'll see how it turns out, man. Alright, let me clean this up and we'll start on the breadsticks. Alright everyone, we have our ingredients for the breadsticks here. We need 1.5 cups of warm water, 4 cups of flour, instant yeast, salt, and sugar. Now we're going to mix it all in this bowl. Now I'm going to try something different here. I've got my camcorder set up on a tripod. Now what I'm going to try to do is just to film the bowl as I'm mixing everything in. So we'll see how this turns out, man. This is the first time I've used a camcorder for Saturday Night Horror. We'll see how it goes. So let's go ahead and mix this dough. Alright everyone, I got the bowl set up here. And we've also got the camcorder set up. Now it has an option to record in HD. Unfortunately, it won't let me, so you're going to have to bear with me with this quality here. The first thing we want to do is we want to put in our water. 1.5 cups of hot water. Alright, there we go. There's our hot water. And next we're going to put in the yeast. Now it's there we go. 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. Now I've never cooked with yeast before, never baked with yeast, so this is a first for me. Hopefully it won't be a disaster. Alright, we've got our tablespoon of yeast. We'll just dump that in there. Alright, I really hope these turn out well, man. Alright, we got our sugar here. Can't really see the container that well. And we'll put some sugar in here too. If I can get it out of this container. It's not wanting to scoop out. There we go. Tablespoon of sugar. And we'll just add that to it. It looks like mud, doesn't it? Oh yeah. That muddy water. Well, yeah, man, I've had a craving for breadsticks for a while, so I'm really looking forward to this. We'll see how this turns out. Yeah, we're just getting the next ingredients here. Almost got it. There we go. Now it's just a little bit of salt, not a whole lot. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like much now, but once we add the flour, hopefully it'll turn out great. All right, we're just going to stir this together now. We just want to stir this and mix this up real well. Still looks like mud, but hey. So we just want to get this nice and, I guess, mixed up here. It's about done. Stir just a little bit more, just to be safe. Alright, we'll call that done. Now really all we have left are the 4 cups of flour, but we're going to put in 2 cups at a time. So what we're going to do is we're going to put in 2 cups of flour, stir it up real well, and I'm going to try to guess at how much this is. Wow, that wasn't even a full cup. Let's try this again. There we go, 2 cups on the second try. Alright, now that we've got 2 cups of flour in, we're just going to mix this together. Or actually stir, I should say. We want to stir it up so it's mixed really nice and well. Oh yeah, it's turning into dough right there. It's getting a little bit harder to stir. Yeah, look at that. It's starting to come together now. It's not bad for a bowl of mud, huh? Yeah, look at that. That's coming together. Alright. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to add the rest of the flour, which is 2 more cups. And hopefully I can still stir this, man. That was getting rough. Oh yeah, this is yeah, it's definitely coming together now. Nice and thick dough. Yeah, it's getting real hard to stir now. I want to take a mixer to it, but no, I'm not sure. I'll tell you what, let me mix this up. I'll be right back. Okay, so we got the dough mixed up as best I could. Oh, it's definitely doughy now. I went from mud to dough. Now what we're going to have to do with this is we're just going to have to let it sit. We're going to have to cover this bowl and just let it sit there for 30 minutes. Let the dough rise, double in size, whatever you want to call it. So for 30 minutes, while that's rising, I'm going to wash dishes. But you know what? I don't want to wash dishes. So let's find someone that will. Now that I've made fat white guys look bad everywhere, let's check on this dough, man. Alright, so I've rolled the dough, and I've cut the dough. Now, as you can see, my dough rolling and dough cutting skills are not up to par at all. But nonetheless, man. Yeah, see, these are the pieces I have left over here. As you can see, my carving skills are lacking. Now, I've got the oven preheating to 425 degrees. So, once that heats up, we'll be ready to put these in there and hopefully get some good breadsticks out of them. Alright, the oven is done preheating. It's at 425 degrees. So we're going to put these breadsticks in here. They just look weird, man. That dough looks funny to me. I'm kind of worried about it, to be honest with you. Let's go ahead and put them in the oven, though. Now, the recipe said 10 to 12 minutes. We're going to do 10 minutes first. Now, if they need to go in longer, we'll go ahead and put them in longer, but we're going to start with 10 minutes and see how they turn out. Like I said, I'm not liking how this dough looks, but maybe it's supposed to look that way, man. I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time making them, so hoping they turn out pretty good. Alright, the oven's done. It's been 10 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and take these out. We're going to leave the oven on just in case they have to go back in. Ooh, that's hot. Look at that. Alright, let's go ahead and take these out. These are the weirdest looking breadsticks I've ever seen. Well, they feel like they're done. Oh yeah, they're baked. They're done. So yeah, 10 minutes is all we needed. I still think it looks weird, but you know, we'll see what happens when we're done with them. That dough just looks weird to me, man. But those are done. Let's see what we can do with them. Yeah, they just... Now what we're going to do with them here is, I've got a bowl of melted butter and a brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush this melted butter onto each one of these breadsticks. Just like this. And once I'm done brushing this melted butter on them, I'm going to sprinkle that garlic parmesan seasoning on top of that. So we'll just go ahead and brush this butter on. You definitely had enough butter. Yeah, look at that one. I tell you, man, like I said, my cutting skills are not up to par. I don't really do a whole lot of cooking with homemade dough, so no, I'm still kind of a dough virgin, if you will. Don't really cook with dough, but alright. Anyways, now that we've got the butter on the breadsticks, we're going to sprinkle some of this Parmesan garlic seasoning on it. Like this. And wow. Supposed to put it on the breadstick, not on the pan. So let's try this again. That's better. Just spread it on out. Because I don't want to get too much of that seasoning in one spot. That's going to be too strong. As you see, we fast forwarded. I've got the seasoning on all the breadsticks now. Now when these cool off, I'm going to put them on a plate and just store them there until we get the pizza done. I'm not going to do the taste test for them right now. I'm going to taste them when I get finished with the pizza. So I'm going to go ahead and do a taste test on everything all at once. But yeah, once these cool, we'll put them on a plate. And we'll keep them stored. Keep them covered up for when we make the pizza. Now keep in mind, this right here is on a Friday afternoon, so Saturday night we'll make the pizza, reheat these breadsticks. Let's go ahead and through video editing and time lapse, let's make that pizza, man. Alright everyone, we've got the ingredients for our pizza here, our spinach and mushroom pizza. Of course we have the Hunt's tomato sauce. I usually use ragu, but this week I'm using Hunt's. Extra virgin olive oil. Have oregano leaves, cilantro leaves, and a little bit of Italian seasoning. Of course we have the mozzarella cheese, Sargento brand. And two ready-made pizza crusts, excuse me. Fresh spinach. There we go. And fresh mushrooms. So these are the ingredients for our spinach and mushroom pizza. We'll be getting to work on that in just a few seconds. Now I have the oven preheating to 450 degrees, or 400 degrees, good lord, excuse me. 400 degrees, and while that's preheating, we'll go ahead and get this pizza started. Alright, first thing we want to do is chop up this spinach. As you can see, it comes in these big spinach leaves. We don't want the leaves, we're going to chop it up nice and fine here. Alright, as you can see, I've chopped it up. Now, I couldn't record this. I don't have a cameraman, so it's kind of hard to chop and hold a phone at the same time, for me anyway. You see, I've cut it up, chopped it up real fine, real small. That's how we want it. So, we'll put this to the side. And next we're going to chop up these mushrooms the same way as we did the spinach. Oh yeah. Alright, see, we chopped up the mushrooms nice and fine, nice and small. So, not a whole lot, because this is a smaller pizza crust. So, we don't want too many mushrooms, we don't want too much in there. Got those chopped up. Now we're going to prepare the crust. So let's go ahead and get this out of the bag. Alright, we got our crust out. Now it looks kind of ordinary, kind of plain, but we're going to spice it up a little bit. You can see it's a pre-made crust because I'm not experienced working with the dough. But we're going to take extra virgin olive oil. And we're just going to pour some right in the middle here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to brush the crust with this olive oil. Now, to me personally, I feel like it gives the crust a little bit more flavor. Other people might disagree, but I think it gives it flavor. So we're just going to brush the entire thing with extra virgin olive oil. Just need a little bit more. Yeah, I should do it. And I'm going to brush the top of the crust too, just to give that some flavor as well. There's nothing I hate more than getting down to the top of the crust and it's just no flavor to it at all. So this will help with that. Now, as I said, some people might not notice a difference in taste, but no, I do. So hey. Alright. Now it doesn't look like it on camera, but the entire thing has been brushed with olive oil. Alright, that is done. Oh yeah, this is going to be good. Alright, next we're going to add the sauce. This is my first time using this Hunt's tomato sauce with pizza, so we'll see how this goes. Just pour some right in the middle there. Now, set this can to the side. And I'm just going to take a spoon and spread this sauce around. Now, I'm not using a whole lot, because with my experience making the pizza, the sauce, it seems like it gets thicker when it's cooking. I could be completely wrong, and it might just be my imagination, but That's been my experience with it. So we're just going to add a little bit more here. Yes, dripping off the side of the can. Alright, we're just going to spread this sauce around. Like I said, I don't want to use too much sauce because I don't want this to be a sauce pizza. When I first started making pizza, I did use too much sauce and it was awful. It was just basically a soup. But we're going to spread this around just like that. That doesn't look like a lot, but once it starts cooking, like I said, it seems like it kind of thickens up a little bit. So we're going to call that done. Looking good so far. Now we are going to do some things to add some flavor to this and spice this up a little bit. First, we're going to add some oregano to it. There we go. Gotta put some spices in that sauce. Next is cilantro. Can't really see because of the glare, but cilantro. Alright. Excuse me. Adds a little bit of Italian seasoning. And by a little bit, I mean a healthy dose. Oh yeah. And we're just going to mix this all up. And like I said, I just do that to add a little bit of flavor to the sauce. I mean, there's nothing wrong with tomato sauce by itself, but I always like to have a little bit of flavor and spice in the pizza. And if this being my first time using the sauce, I want to go ahead and do that. But that's the sauce. Next, we're going to put in our mozzarella cheese. Just going to grab a handful here. And just kind of sprinkle it around the pizza here. I don't want to, I want to get some cheese up there, but I don't want to use too much. I don't want it to be a cheese everywhere. That's all you taste is cheese. You know what? Screw the handfuls. We're going to just dump from the back. Be a whole lot easier and a whole lot faster. Yeah. Now we'll just take this cheese and kind of spread it around here. And yes, I do wash my hands before I handle food, in case you're wondering. It's definitely a necessity. I can't stand people that handle food without washing their hands first. It makes me sick. Yeah, we're just going to spread that around. Looks like we need just a little bit more up here. There we go. Spread it around one more time. And that looks good, man. Yeah, get it off the pan, put it in the pizza. Alright, the cheese is done. That's looking good. Now here's an ingredient I forgot at the beginning of the video. Diced tomatoes. I'm going to drain that juice out and put some tomatoes on here like so. And all I do is I just get a spoonful and kind of dump them on. I'm not going to use a whole lot, but just kind of dump them around the pizza there. And adds a little bit more flavor to it. Oh yeah. Just a little bit more. And just a little bit more. Keep saying a little bit more and adding even more to it. I think we'll call that done. I think that's all the diced tomatoes we need right there, guys. All we have left is to add the mushrooms and the spinach. Alright, we're going to add the mushrooms here. Like I said, just take a handful, kind of sprinkle them around the pizza. So this is why I cut them on kind of small. So when I do have mushrooms on a pizza, I don't like big mushrooms. I like to have them small. I really don't like huge toppings on a pizza. I gotta have them small, man. I gotta have them small. So we're just gonna get the rest of these mushrooms on here. So I don't want to waste any. Alright, now we're gonna add the chopped spinach. And same as the mushrooms, just take a handful, kind of sprinkle them on. Now the first time I tried this, I wasn't sure about it, man. I wasn't sure about the spinach. I'd never had spinach on a pizza before, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is actually really good. It's one of those things where it's kind of, don't knock it till you try it. Man, we got spinach not coming off the plate here. We'll take care of that. But that looks good, man. Kind of spread it out a little bit. Well, that's it, man. And the oven is done. It's already at 400 degrees. So it's ready to cook. Let's get the spinach back on the pizza here. Alright. Slide this in the oven. And we're going to cook this for 10 minutes. Now if it needs to go in longer, we'll put it in longer, but we're going to start with 10 minutes just to be safe. Alright, the oven is done. Now I forgot to film the countdown. I was going to put in some music, but man, that smells good too. Oh yeah, that is done, man. That is done. Look at that. That is beautiful. Let's go ahead and turn this oven off. That smells good too, man. Now we need to go ahead and cut it up. Get the pizza cutter and cut this into slices here. But yeah, that looks good. That is bellissimo. Alright, see I've cut it here. I'm gonna get 2 pieces put on this plate. Look at that. I see some of the spinach and spices got on the top of the crust, so that's good. That adds even more flavor to the top of that crust there. And now I've added one of my breadsticks that I made earlier. I made it Friday. For you guys, it was probably 5 minutes ago. Yeah. Now, for the drink. You already know what it is.
Never, never fun, there's always Coca-Cola, yeah. Coca-Cola, always Coca-Cola.
Alright, there we go. We have our dinner. We have our drink. Now let's go ahead and do a taste test, see how it turned out. Alright, I couldn't talk on the phone while I was doing this taste test because I pretty much have to yell for my voice to show up. So, anyway, this is my initial reaction to the taste test. I'll tell you what I thought about it in a minute. Obviously, I was pleased. I'm trying not to look like too much of a hog on camera here. Alright, so the pizza was awesome. All the spices in the sauce definitely came through. Pizza was great. Now the breadsticks, next time I'll probably use more of the garlic parmesan seasoning, and I'll probably make them thinner. They were just a little too thick for me and not quite enough seasoning. I mean, still good. I would just make those tiny improvements. So it's time for our movie. We've got our dinner. Now here's our movie. Now this is the main title screen for the disc. It's one disc. This is the main title screen. Now each movie has its own title screen. So we'll start with part 7 first. Alright, here's part 7. All that's left to do is turn out the last light in the house. Alright, we're ready to get it started. Friday the 13th, part 7 is coming up. Alright, here's the title screen. Now enjoy these clips, everyone. It's going to be a fun night. Alright, in this first clip, we have a little girl here named Tina, who, unknown to her, she has telekinesis powers. She can move objects and make things happen with her mind. Now, the guy standing on the dock is her father. Apparently, he argues with her mom or hits her or something, and she said, "I wish you were dead." And now it's happening. She wished he was dead, and now, with the power of her mind, the dock is collapsing. And apparently she didn't realize she can do that. And the only reason I'm showing this clip is because it's kind of important to the end of the movie. We'll have another clip where you understand it a whole lot better once you've seen this here. But yeah, young Tina accidentally kills her father with the power of telekinesis. Yep. And that's Tina now, along with her mother. Alright, now in this scene, we have the present day Tina, and she's standing at the end of a dock, looking at the lake, regretting that she accidentally killed her father. Now here's Jason at the bottom of the lake. Now if you've ever seen part 6, at the end he gets thrown over the side of a boat with a boulder and a chain around his neck, so he's been underwater for who knows how many years, just trapped. And for some reason, Tina thinks her father is calling out to her from under the lake, so she's using her telekinesis to try to, I guess, resurrect him and bring him out of the lake. And we all know what's going to happen next. Yeah, so instead of bringing her father back from the dead and out of the lake, she's brought Jason back from the dead. Which is never ever a good thing. And you can tell he's been underwater for a while. His body is just decomposing. And that's just a cool visual right there, coming out of the lake. And this is just a cool visual of Jason, walking out of the lake, about to stalk these kids. Alright, in this clip we have our first 2 victims of Friday the 13th Part 8. Well, our first victims of Jason anyway. And for that reason and that reason alone, you two lovely people have just made your Saturday Night Horror debuts. Now this guy's over here taking a leak while his girlfriend just got stabbed through the neck. Oh yeah, he knows it's time to run. And one of the things I like about this this movie is the detail they put into Jason, just to make him look decomposed. I mean, look at that. You see his spine sticking out. I mean, just all the things they did to make you know that he's been underwater for quite a while. I mean, it could have been years on top of years. They don't really say how long, but little details they put in to make him decomposed. And you see his jaw hanging out of the side of the mask there. And it's always funny that no matter how fast you run, Jason always outwalks you. And he always has that impeccable aim. Alright, we got our first 2 victims. Alright, in this scene, this is one of the funnier kills in the franchise to me, so of course I had to include it in here. Now he's already killed her boyfriend, so he's gonna get her. Now I've read, I don't know if it's true or just a bunch of made up rumors, that in the uncut version he swings her against that tree 3 or 4 times. I don't know why that's just funny to me, but it is, man. And once again, I'm joined by Kitty. 4 cats. She's the oldest. She's my favorite, and she knows it. She's a very jealous cat, too. If I give any attention to other cats and she's around, she gets pissed. She'll go up, she'll smack them, she'll hiss at them, and then she'll ignore me. Of course, later on she comes back. But yeah, she's my favorite. She comes out here with me. She comes out here with me every Saturday, watches these movies. So good to have Kitty here. All right, here we have Tina driving down the road, and she hallucinates. She's kind of getting a look into the future, if you will. The death of her mother, of course, by Jason, which leads her to crash the car. Yeah, apparently she gets, sometimes she gets visions of the future. It's Friday the 13th, baby, you gotta love it. Alright, now this chick here dropped one of her earrings in the middle of the woods, so she's down looking for it, and doesn't realize that, oh yeah, I like how he just kind of pops up and looks around the tree like, who the hell is that? Honestly, I'd be scared out of my mind if I looked around and I saw that coming after me. I'd probably scream more than she would be. Now, I would say you don't want to get in a closed space running from Jason, but an open area is probably just as bad. Either way, you're screwed. Man, that is a scary sight right there. I'd be done, man. I would most definitely be screwed. And I don't know why she thought he left just that quick. Now me, I probably would have waited a little while, but... Well, actually, knowing me, I probably would have waited till daylight. And it probably wouldn't have mattered. Now, I'll give him this. Jason is not stupid. He's actually pretty intelligent if you watch the movies. Some of the things he does, he is intelligent. Oh, yeah. And she's out of there. This was just funny to me, man. I just put it up here because I think it's hilarious. Bye-bye. Alright, this guy here is a doctor who claimed he wanted to help Tina get over the guilt of killing her father, but what he really wanted is to exploit her telekinesis. And now he's being hunted down by Jason. We all know it's not going to end well for the good doctor, but now let's all take a moment of silence and enjoy his final moments on this earth. Alright, that's enough. Man, see, now if that was me, I wouldn't have stopped. I'd have ran till I couldn't run anymore. I'm afraid it's the end of the road for the good doctor here. That's just a horrible way to go out. Alright, here's the moment we've been waiting for. The showdown, Tina versus Jason. Telekinesis versus demon spawn from hell, I guess? Who knows? Now she's actually bringing tree branches and tree roots up out of the ground. And now she's got them trapped in water, so you can imagine what's going to happen with those power lines. And there we go. I always thought Kane Hodder played the best Jason. All the mannerisms, everything about him was just awesome. So, now see, that's one thing I never understand about horror movies. Why do you go and look? If the person is down, I'm hauling ass, man. I'm getting out of there. Everyone else in the movies, they want to look and see if they're really dead. No, man. Just run. Now this is badass right here. That's one of the only, possibly the only time I've seen Jason jump. Or that I remember seeing him jump, and he just burst through the window like it was like he just knew he's gonna kill her. Then he's just slowly stalking her. Man. Just an awesome scene overall. Now, this is funny right here. He just throws it to the side like, come on, man. There's another funny part coming up. Now one of the campers was decapitated in this room. You see his head right there in the potted plant. And she hits Jason with his head in the potted plant. Oh, Jesus. Very effective, but we all know it's not enough. Alright, so they got into the house with this chick. She's kind of like the bitch of the movie. Doesn't care about anyone, always putting everyone down, so her death is very satisfying. Now he's telling her not to go out there. She's saying F you and F both of you. Yeah, okay. Should have listened to the man. Took an axe to the head, then got thrown across the room. Alright, Jason's been chasing him through the house. And, yeah, he just tosses the guy to the side like it's nothing. Now you're about to see something truly ugly. Now she's using her telekinesis to have the straps on his mask tighten and squeeze his head. And there he is unmasked, ugly as hell. And like I said, just the amount of detail they put into the Jason it's awesome to me, man. I'll give them all the credit in the world for that. Yeah. Jesus, he's ugly, boy. Alright, this is the last scene I have from Friday the 13th, Part 7. The guy is unconscious on a boat, and Tina is left here with Jason. She's using her telekinesis to try to I don't know what she's trying to do, but you'll see what happens in a minute. He's slowly stalking her. And that there is Tina's father, who died at the beginning of the movie. So I guess she used her telekinesis to resurrect him this time. And he comes out from the lake and drags Jason under. And that is Friday the 13th Part 7, folks. Alright, our next movie is Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Really looking forward to this. Of course, it's my favorite. Now here's the main menu. Let's go ahead and get this masterpiece rolling, guys. Alright, in this first clip, you'll see how Jason was resurrected. That was actually a boat anchor that broke through some power lines that were mysteriously placed at the bottom of the lake. Don't know when they were put there, don't know who put them there, don't know why they were put there. But the anchor broke through them and the electric current went into Jason's body. And now he's resurrected. Oh yeah. So it begins. In this clip, we're going to have our first victim of Jason in Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, it's a given, if you're having sex in a horror movie, you're as good as dead. And this is no exception. I mean, but at least he'll die happy. I would hope. You see, he's still decomposed. Even more so now. Because there's no telling how long he's been in the lake after Part 7. And she just now notices him. And that's the one time, or one of the few times, I've actually seen him miss. But he got him there. Right in the guts. The bread basket. Now, when I was a kid, I used to think those were his intestines hanging off of that harpoon. I was an idiot. But there we have it. We have our first victim of Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Congratulations, sir, on your Saturday Night Horror debut. Now, this is one of the funnier death scenes in the franchise, and honestly, I was kind of digging this chick for the 5 or 10 minutes she was in the film. Kind of wish she would have survived, maybe lasted a little bit longer. She's actually seemed like one of the cool ones. As we all know, Jason just doesn't care. And poor girl doesn't realize her life is about to come to an end. She does now. Now he hears the screaming and he knows what's going on. Now check this out. Bam. Okay, in this scene, our crew has made it to Manhattan. The cruise ship they were on sunk. You can blame Jason for that. And Jason has also arrived at Manhattan. So, Jason Voorhees is now in Manhattan. And like I said at the beginning of the video, I kind of wish the more of the movie took place here in Manhattan. That would have been awesome. But nonetheless, man. Have kind of a funny moment right here. Alright, now in this scene, Jason meets some druggies. And it's not going to go too well for our two drug heads. No, he gave her some drugs. You know what he's trying to do. But it's not going to happen. He put it in. He put the needle in through his back, and it came out of his chest. Just think about that for a second. Yeah, this guy never stood a chance, man. He's got to know he's screwed. Yeah, it's over for him now. Damn. Okay. This is my favorite movie. My favorite horror movie of all time. I've said it 1,000 times. But this scene to me was just absolutely ridiculous. If he's been shot, electrocuted, drowned, impaled, all the above, and that didn't kill him, what makes you think punching him in the face is going to do the job? I understand you want to fight for your life, but Jesus Christ, man. So, this foolish but brave young man's name is Julius, and he thinks he's going to beat Jason to death. He thought wrong. Now, it was kind of funny because Kane Hodder said in an interview that the actor playing Julius wasn't pulling his punches. He really beat the hell out of him in this scene. So he said he took a beating for real. Yeah, man. It's over for poor Julius. Yeah, he's just about out of gas. Yeah, he realizes it's over now. Now he tells Jason to take his best shot. And that's it for Julius. Another life come to an early end. Okay, so out of all the main characters, these two are the only survivors. They're the only ones left, so you know Jason's gonna hunt them down like no other. And this is a pretty cool scene right here. It's kind of a famous scene, if you will. Yeah, look at these idiots. Basically telling Jason he's a dead man for kicking over their radio. And now they've had to change the heart. So, kind of a cool, famous scene there. Alright, now this scene, he's chased the two into a diner. And this big dude thinks he's going to take care of Jason. But we all know better. Just throws him to the side like it's nothing. I like how he's just slowly stalking them. Alright, now in this scene they've gone into some not subway tunnels, but they've gone into the sewer system underground, try to get away from Jason. And that is toxic waste. Now check this out. Now right in his face. They can't hear it, but he's making just a bellowing, hollering noise like he's just in excruciating pain. Yeah, he's just ugly as hell, man. Kind of reminds me of Ivan Ooze a little bit. Alright, this is our last scene for Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Now, they're flushing out the sewer system with toxic waste, and, Jason is terrified of water. And now he is just drowning in it. He's literally drowning in toxic waste. Now, I read on a documentary that this was intended to be the final Friday the 13th movie, that this was the intended death of Jason Voorhees. He's supposed to be dead and gone for good on this scene here. But as we all know, that didn't work out. That's not how it happened. But yeah, this was intended to be the final moment for Jason Voorhees. I guess that's why they have the lightning going, kind of like a evil entity being destroyed, I guess. I don't know. But you'll see something in a minute. He actually gets transformed back into a little boy. Well, that was Friday the 13th, Part 8. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Alright, everyone, that's going to do it for this week's Saturday Night Horror. We have Friday the 13th, Part 7, Friday the 13th, Part 8. I gotta say, man, this is a lot of fun for me this week. Friday the 13th is my favorite horror movie franchise of all time. And as it's well documented, Part 8 is my favorite movie of all time. Horror movie, that is. But, yeah, both of these definitely get a thumbs up. I like the fact that Part 7 went back to the woods, back to Camp Crystal Lake. That kind of setting is what I really enjoy. And I like how they took little details to make Jason look decayed. To show you that he had been underwater for quite a while. His vertebrae, his spine showing, everything like that. It was pretty cool. Part 8, I loved it. This isn't really a complaint, more kind of like a wish list. I wish more of the movie would have taken place in Manhattan, but I loved it nonetheless, man. Like I said, my favorite horror movie all time, hands down. So both of them definitely get a thumbs up for me. Week Saturday Night Horror. Next week we're going to be watching two movies that I've only seen one time, and it's been years since I've seen them, so I don't remember a single thing about them. And I'm talking about Demons and Demons 2. So that should be pretty interesting. Tomorrow, or next week, excuse me. I don't know what I'm cooking yet. I'm still trying to decide. I have a couple things in mind, so no, I'll have a decision before then. Yeah, next week, Demons, Demons 2, and a mystery meal. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you for joining me for Saturday Night Horror, Episode 5, Birthday Edition. Hope you enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed bringing it to you. And we'll see you next week. Take care, everyone.